After the B7 generation Audi RS4 left America, we never got another RS4 again. Instead, we got the RS5, and for the B8 generation, the RS5 had a 4.2-liter naturally aspirated V8. When the B9 generation came out, they went to a 2.9-liter twin turbocharged V6, and that brings us here today with this B9.5 mid-cycle refreshed RS5. We are here at Fletcher Jones Audi in Chicago checking out the brand new RS5, and this isn't just an ordinary RS5. This is one of the Black Optic Launch Edition RS5s. They are making 100 coupes, 325 sportbacks, and it's one of the two launch editions. The other one is the Ascari edition, which is even more rare, 25 coupes, 100 sportbacks. Obviously, with the name Black Optic Launch Edition, you get black optics all over the vehicle. The badge, the front grille, the trim, the headlights, the rear diffuser, all blacked out. For the powertrain, that 2.9 V6 twin turbo is carried over, 444 horsepower, 442 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission, obviously Quattro all-wheel drive. And the other really important thing to note for the Black Optic Edition is you get DRC, Dynamic Ride Control, and that's a suspension with the steel springs that are cross-linked to help handling, help eliminate body roll. 0 to 60 is claimed in 3.7 seconds. We're going to take it for a drive and see what it's like. In terms of exterior styling, you can get the RS5 in coupe form or four-door sportback form. Again, we don't get the RS4 Avant wagon in America. Up front, it's been redone completely. New headlights with available laser headlights, which this car does have. New front grille, new fascia, looks more aggressive. You have these ventilation slats above the front grille that's supposed to be inspired by the Audi Sport Quattro from back in 1984. Going around to the back, new taillights too, and the big oval exhaust tips that all the RS model vehicles do have. Additional things, again, as the Black Optic Launch Edition, you also have red calipers and everything is blacked out. From the 20-inch wheels to the mirror housing to the roof to the badges, everything is blacked out. With that, let's hop in the car. We'll talk about the interior and go for a drive. Okay, outside, on the road, in the car, and straight into some traffic. So I'm actually going to put the car into comfort mode. Let's see what DRC feels like in comfort mode. And we'll talk about the interior first. I like this generation of Audi interiors with the newer MMI touchscreen. This large screen is actually quite nice here, and you still have the conventional rotary knobs and dials and buttons for your climate control on the lower tier. And then virtual cockpit is just always awesome. I think I like this more than the M4, the BMW 4 Series interior, and the C63 AMG. It just feels much more modern and clean and simple, minimalistic. The matte carbon fiber across the center console, across the dash, and on the doors looks really nice. I think it looks better than shiny carbon fiber on the inside. Alcantara steering wheels, Alcantara feels great, but when it's on a high contact surface, I personally don't think it's always the best material choice because it doesn't hold up well over time. Not bad, just in comfort mode. Getting out of traffic, let's get to some open road. So let's see, other interior things to talk about. Again, I mentioned the new 10.1-inch touchscreen, the RS seats obviously with the red stitching. So a couple of the other things that come with the Launch Edition, it's all the dynamic driving packages. So dynamic ride control that I mentioned, you get variable steering, which is, I think they call it dynamic steering, and then the sportier RS exhaust, which I will hear once we get to open up a little bit in dynamic mode. Again, the newer RS cars have this RS mode button where you can configure what you'd like RS to be: drive, balance versus sport, your suspension, steering, engine sound, Quattro with sport diff. So when you click this RS mode buttons, it jumps to that custom configured settings for you. I got to drive the previous generation RS5 with a 4.2-liter naturally aspirated V8, and that was pretty cool. It sounded awesome. I thought it looked really cool. I didn't spend that much time in the B9 RS5. A friend of mine had one. I took it for a quick spin, and an exhaust on it, and it was pretty quick, and it was nice on the inside. This refresh, I do believe that the interior is much nicer. I think the exterior also looks better. I think the front is a little more sleek and aggressive looking, whereas the previous one was very chunky. Chunky, I don't know if that's the right word. Like, pointy? No, I can't think of the right adjective. I like the refresh on this more, especially with the black optics. The Ascari edition looks really cool, but that's crazy rare. There's 25 coupes of those coming out. Sportback also looks nice. You have way more space out back in terms of legroom and people room and cargo room. It's slightly longer and slightly taller for a more practical application, and therefore also slightly heavier. So the Sportback will be a little bit slower than the regular coupe. Now, as we're dawdling through traffic right now, heading over towards Lakeshore Drive, we can talk about the value. The RS5 start in that $75,000 range, which is competitive. It's, I think, around the range of what the outgoing M4 was and the C63, but the C63S would cost a bit more, but that's the only one in the segment to offer a V8 still and a little bit more power. So it's kind of trade-offs here. You want a V8 or do you want all-wheel drive? The Audi is the only one to offer Quattro all-wheel drive. With the current C63 and M4, it would be rear-wheel drive only. Now we're in that midpoint where BMW is about to release a new generation M3 and M4, which is going to be fast, but the looks are also, how do I put this politely, controversial? I think the styling for the RS5 is much more pleasing to the eyes. So at the end of the day, value is very subjective because it depends what you want with your car, where you live, what you need it for. With the launch editions, they do cost a good amount more, but it's getting a lot of stuff as standard. The driver assist features, the black optics package, you're getting that and some exclusivity. Do I think these launch editions are going to be so rare and where years from now they'll be worth a lot? No, because I don't think it's added extra that much more special. It's just a package that they're offering to debut this new vehicle. The Ascari, the color and the rarity of that one, maybe, but for the black optics, it's available in all these different colors. I would just get it and drive it and enjoy it. All right, let's see what dynamic mode is like, even though we're not quite opened up yet. Immediately, you can hear it's a bit louder, and the computer, I'm in sport transmission shift mode, is automatically downshifting a lot more quickly and aggressively for me. And just regular shifts are coming off quicker with the ZF automatic. Audi claims 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, which is pretty quick with 444 horsepower. I mean, we're in a world where most luxury coupes now all do 60s in the 3s. When I was, I guess when I say when I was younger, which wasn't that long ago because I'm not old, supercars were doing like mid-3s, and that was like a big deal if you got a Ferrari F430 doing a 3.6 0 to 60 or something in that range. Ooh, listen to that. Interesting. I wonder if Audi punches in exhaust sound through the speakers. It's like everybody does that now, which is lame. Heated seats are now standard on the RS5, and they should be on a car that's like almost $90,000. This 2.9-liter twin-turbo V6 is shared with the Panamera, actually, and I believe it's the exact same one that they put in the newest generation Audi S6 and S7. And I know I've complained about that a little bit because, to me, the S6 and S7 were the twin-turbo V8 ones, and going from that to the V6 was a downgrade because I believe it actually is slower now, too. But in this car, it fits a lot better because, again, the 4 and 5 platform Audi vehicles are a step below the 6 and the 7. It's the hierarchy. As you step up, you get more power, more luxury, all of the stuff there. So I think it fits the character of the RS5 a lot better. And I will say, with my brief little drive, it feels a lot more exciting, a lot more charismatic than the 3-liter twin turbo, or that might be a single turbo, the 3-liter turbocharged V6 found in the B9 S4 and S5, so a step down. I did not like that 3-liter V6 twin turbo, or whatever turbo it is, in the new S4 and S5. I prefer the supercharged V6 that was found in the previous generation one. That one, it made good power, but it wasn't fun. This feels a little more alive. With this dynamic exhaust, the sport exhaust, it sounds pretty good. I got some burbles when I was lifting off and on the shifts. We're about to hit some open road now, so we can open it up and see what it's like. I can already feel DRC being firm. In dynamic, it's almost undoable because it's just not comfortable. I very specifically wanted air suspension on my RS7 because you could get RS7s with DRC where they cross-link the reservoirs, I think, and that's what makes it handle so much better. Which lane is what? This is my lane. Get out of my lane. And there's slow cars in front of me. All right, we are in full dynamic mode now. Manual shift, sport transmission. So when you let off, you got a couple little pops and burbles from that exhaust. And the ZF 8-speed is giving me pretty quick upshifts and downshifts. Listen to that. Oh, nice. Strong brakes too. This has steel brakes, whereas the Ascari edition gets the carbon ceramic brakes, which is why it adds such a big price change on that. Carbon ceramics are not cheap. And honestly, on a non-track car, I would just people who actually track them typically go to steels too because they're cheaper to replace. Carbon ceramics are nice because they keep your wheels not too dirty and brake dusty. And if these brakes are anything like the brakes on my RS7, you will have a lot of brake dust. Got a bit of an overpass. Let's see what this thing sounds like. It's got that mid-range power. This thing will pull. Impressive. I really liked the way this generation RS5 looked when it came out. And I was like, oh, this could be a great daily driver replacement if I wanted something newer, going from my RS7 into a, interrupted by EMT, into a newer generation Audi RS daily driver. But I was a little bit turned off by the V6. I wanted to still stay with a V8, and I knew that it was a little bit on the firm side in terms of the ride quality. And it is. With DRC, you feel the bouncy. Let's see if we go to comfort. Oh, exhaust went straight quiet immediately. It's a little bit better, but with large 20-inch wheels, only 30 profile sidewall, this is not a friendly setup for horrendous Midwest roads. I used to always say that the roads in Michigan approximate the surface of the moon, and the ones in Chicago are not any better. So from that perspective, it's not the best. Well, from a driving perspective, this thing it's well sorted. It's put together quite nicely. Doesn't have that twin turbo V8 charisma of the C63, which that car is a beast. But I'm pretty sure I would take this over an M4, even an M4 competition. I think I'd rather have this RS5 as a daily driver for sure. It's able to do more of this stuff better. Back to dynamic mode we go. A little downshift. Ouch, bump. Woohoo! Man, this exhaust sounds good. I like it. This is a proper exhaust for an RS modeled vehicle. I like it. Good job, Audi Sport. Good job there. So final thoughts on this new Audi RS5. It's accomplished what all good mid-cycle refreshes try to accomplish. It's taken the core vehicle, fixed a couple things, added some new features, improved it in a couple ways, and kept it fresh. The new styling, I think, looks really good. It looks a lot more modern. Laser headlights are expensive, but very nice. Oh, dude, laser headlights. I was driving my friend's RS6, and at night, they illuminate so well, and they won't blind everybody coming towards you. So it's brilliant technology there. It looks better. I think it sounds better. Just stock. This sport exhaust is very nice. With the special edition, with these launch editions, it's rare. It's cool to be able to get it. I don't think they're too overpriced for them the way they are. You get a lot of stuff as standard, so it's cool to have it as the Black Optic edition, but I wouldn't consider anything crazy special like a M4 GTS level of specialness or anything like that. But as an all-around daily driver car, I would say it would be a great option for something that's fun to drive, can deal with all year round, but I would be very cautious with the ride comfort quality of DRC, dynamic ride control, and also the fact that it's on 20-inch wheels with tiny little 30 profile sidewall. I've got experience with that type of wheel and tire combination, and it resulted in a couple bent wheels, and it sucks. I mean, the roads, I'm driving the speed limit on Lakeshore Drive, and it's horrible. Back to comfort mode we go. There it is, the Audi RS5. I like this car. I could see myself maybe getting one. I'm in that weird zone of I don't need to buy a car right now. A daily driver, I have my truck obviously, but I'm thinking in a year or 2 years, what would I get after that? And it's do you go luxury coupe or do you go luxury SUV, performance SUV? I was just driving the SQ8, which is very awesome too, but obviously way bigger, a different class level vehicle compared to this RS5. But here we go, the refreshed RS5. I'd love to someday get a comparison of this versus the B9 versus a B8.5 even. That would be cool too. I know my friend Jeff has a B9 RS5 and he's starting to like it quite a bit. I was just sending him pictures of this when I first started filming it. With that, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Check out the interior details walk around of this car and watch me struggle to get in the back seat. It was not graceful or comfortable. Fletcher Jones Audi has this car for sale. Check them out. They have many Audis in inventory. I appreciate all the support, guys. We'll see you guys next video.